son. He's 2.5 years old, and his name is Finnegan. And he has been on a mission lately, and his mission is to catch our chicken. We have one chicken. That's a long story in itself. We have one chicken who doesn't lay eggs, and that's totally fine. She kind of just hangs around on our property, eating bugs. We give her some grain, and she's as happy as can be until Finn sees her. And as soon as he sees her, he goes, "Mom, I'm going to catch Chickaletta." And he goes running after her, hands up in the air, going, "Ah!" like all toddlers do when something's really exciting. And the chicken dives under the cars and scoots behind the sheds, and Finn the whole entire time is like locked on to the chicken. Doesn't matter what else I told him he was supposed to be doing at that moment. He's after that chicken. I love it when kids are on a mission. Well, I do, and I don't. It's like, get in the car. Don't chase the chicken, get in the car. But there's something about when a kid is on a mission, they just give it that full focus. They're all in. And I also love that it's really simple for them. There aren't a whole lot of rules. It's simply the mission, catch the chicken. That's it. It's Mother's Day, and so I am on stage, and I get to tell all the stories I want about my kid, and you have to listen, because it's Mother's Day. You're welcome. I'm not only going to talk about my kid, though. I'm also going to talk about following Jesus and learning to be on mission like he was. I think it's really fitting, though, that we're talking about, it's Mother's Day, and we're talking about being on mission with Jesus, because the mission of motherhood and the mission that Jesus called us to actually aren't a whole lot different. Our mission as moms is to love our kids. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? Right? No? No? So, yes. Yes, I like it. I like saying that loving our kids is the simplest difficult thing you've been asked to do. Because it's simple, because you just love them, right? Like the moment that they were born, you immediately fell in love. It's like love at first sight. You took them in your arms and you whispered in their ears, "I love you." You immediately were absorbed in that. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to fall in love with that little person. It just happened. But then you go home, and it doesn't become quite as easy. It kind of gets a little difficult. You have the sleep deprivation and the diaper explosions and the crying, and yet you still love them through it all. And then the second year comes with its tantrums and the 3 teens, as I've heard it's going to be called soon. That's where we're headed. And yet, you still love them, regardless of it all. They begin to talk back to you. They tell you that they hate you. They break your heart because they break your trust. And yet, through it all, that love is still there. Isn't that amazing? Finn is definitely going through the difficult part of loving right now. He really likes the word no. I've heard that's normal, thankfully. I worry sometimes. But he is all about the word no. You ask him, "Finn, do you want a banana?" He goes, "No." And I was like, "Okay, fine, you don't have to have a banana." "I want a banana!" And you're like, "I just told you to keep the peace." You give him the banana, you hand it, "Here's your banana." "I don't want a banana. I want crackers." Like, how do I love this kid? I don't know. And yet, each night he goes to bed and I'm just like, I love that kid. I love him. Before we get going on this conversation about being on mission with Jesus, let's take some time to chat. Because it's Mother's Day, we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than me giving you 3 questions to discuss amongst the people around you, I'm just going to ask you to tell a story. Tell a story from your childhood when you did something that possibly made loving you less than easy for your mother. I'm excited for these stories, you guys. So turn to each other and people around you, and just start sharing some good old kid stories. All right, we've got like 2 minutes. Go for it. Oh, man, you guys got some good stories. This is really good. I really appreciate it because I know that your mom still loves you, so I'm going to be all right with Finn. This is good. Thank you. Thank you for that encouragement. Jesus' mission was not a whole lot far off from the mom mission, like I mentioned. Jesus, just like the mom mission is to love your kids, Jesus' mission was just as simple. Love the people. Simple as that, right? Just like being a mom. Simple. Or not quite. When you read the story of Jesus, it's really, really clear. Like, you can't miss this mission that he's on. It's like, you see it time and time again. You don't just see him demonstrate it. He says it over and over. In John 13:34, it's just one of the verses. He says, "So I give you a new command. Love each other deeply and fully. Remember the ways that I have loved you and demonstrate your love for others in the same way." Pretty clear. Like, it's not difficult to understand what he's saying. Love the people. But just like parenting, it sounds really simple. It's all encompassing, this description, but then you go to do that, and things get a little difficult. There's the details involved, right? So why don't we break it down a bit? Let's keep it simple. Love the people. Who are the people? Look around. The people you're just having conversations with. All the people in this room. Those people. Really, it's just the people who you find right in front of you. So you go to Tim Hortons, there are those people. Those people. You go to work, those people. You go to the park, those people. You go to school, those people. You're on the internet, those people. You're watching the news, those people. Yeah. The people. Love the people. Are you saying, wait, all of them? Yes, all of them. That's what I meant. Our mission has always been to just love the people right in front of us. When Adam and I first came to Connect, we sat in rows just like you guys, and sitting there right in front of us were the teenagers of Connect. Well, the teenager of Connect. There may have only been one. The church was pretty small at that time. But, we just decided we were going to try to love the teenagers at Connect really well. So we decided we'll start a youth ministry here. But aside from just like ministry, we decided, why don't we just take them out for lunch? So we can get to know them. And so Sunday after Sunday, we kept inviting teenagers to come out for lunch with us. Then afterwards, we were really liking these guys. So we decided to invite them over to our home. And the years went by, and we bought a house. We didn't buy a house, we built a house. And the house was way bigger than we possibly needed. Have you ever done that where your appetite and the meal, the whole thing is just bigger than you imagined? Yeah, we built the house, we're like, whoa, that's a lot of house. And we went, God, what are we supposed to do with all of this? And we thought, you know what, God's got open arms, so we'll have open doors. And we decided we would make our home an open door space for teens and people who are just coming out of the teenage years and just figuring out how to do the rest of life, that they could just come and be in our home. We invited them over to play video games, to play with our dog, to eat food, and just to do life with us. It was a really, really cool time. But it wasn't always easy. There were lots of occasions where these people in our home were kind of difficult. And some of them were big, and some of them weren't so big. Your parents know the not so big things, but time and time again, they just... And I remember really distinctly one Sunday, or one Monday, after the Sunday, we had a whole bunch of teens over there. They were playing video games in our rec room, and me and Adam were vacuuming, and Adam is a really awesome husband who lifts the cushion and vacuums underneath the cushion. Yeah. So he proceeds to lift the cushion, and he's vacuuming under. When he lifts it, he finds this Oreo that the top has been twisted off of, and it's just the whatever that stuff, the whale blubbery stuff. I don't know what that is. And the wafer. But see, in our house, we had open doors. That meant all the doors were open. That meant the fridge doors and the pantry doors too. And I bought these Oreos that weren't really Oreos. They're like those healthy Oreos. And they were ginger wafers and lemon filling. And it was quite apparent at this point that a teenager had eaten the wafer and went, that is not what I thought it was. And I really, really wish that they had just thrown it in the garbage. I don't care. If you don't like the Oreo, don't like the Oreo, just throw it away. But they didn't. They had slid it under the sofa cushion, and it had left this big grease mark stained into my sofa cushion. And Adam and I mean, it's not a huge thing, but we were just so frustrated. Our house had 3 rules, and only 3 rules only. Respect this house like you built it because we did. We do not bring people down, we only lift them up. And if you take the last glass of iced tea, fill up the jug. That was it. And we were feeling disrespected in that part of respect our home like you built it. And the next Sunday rolled around, I was like, we're going over to your house. And we went, no, we need a break. And so for one Sunday, we went home by ourselves. And we just had a break. And we were faced with this choice. What do? Do we just keep doing this? Because it's getting really hard. And we made the choice that day that we didn't want to let difficult things stop us from loving people. So we invited them back into our home. This is a really cool story, at least I think it is, because I really enjoyed that time with those people. But that might not be how your story needs to go. That might not be how you love the people right in front of you. You might not have a 5-bedroom home, a really cool dog, and cook really well. That's what I had to give. That might not be what you have to give, but you have the ability to love the people right in front of you. Really, all Adam and I did is we took the principles that we believe that Jesus demonstrated and just tried our best to do that with our lives. The 2 things that we believe that Jesus showed us were to be with the people and believe in who the people are becoming. And we were doing our best to make that happen. So we'll focus on the first, be with the people. Love from a distance sucks. It really does. Love with us is a lot better. God knew that. I think that was the point of Jesus, actually, so that we didn't have to do the long-distance relationship thing with God anymore. If you've ever been in a long-distance relationship, have any, raise of hands. I'm not alone here. Okay, yes, some of you know. It sucks, right? The story usually goes, they spend this time apart, and it sucks. Their need for each other overwhelms them. The guy gets down on one knee and says, I don't want to be apart from you any longer. I want to be with you. That is kind of the story of humanity and God. Things were going good, God and his creation, they're in the garden together, and then there was a separation, and it sucked. So God closed the distance and said he wanted to be with us. Now the question is, do we accept the proposal? You know those people who are going to say yes, don't you? Yeah, when there's a proposal, they got their hands over their mouth, and they take the deep breath, and they dance in place. They're like, oh, yes! Even before the words come out of their mouth. The people who are saying yes to God's proposal to be with him are the people who are loving the people around them and bridging the distance for the people around them so that they can know God. Bridging that gap, that sounds like a good, yeah, Frankie, bridge the gap, sounds good. It's harder than I thought. Because, to be fair, there's actually a gap between you and me, really a gap. But also, there's a gap every time you walk into break. There's a lot of faces and a lot of people. And I usually follow my toddler to nursery, check him in, stick the sticker on his back, and come back and sit in my seat. And I spent no time bridging the gap between you and me, if I'm really honest. Because I don't like to be uncomfortable. I don't want to, it's kind of awkward talking to everyone. Does anyone else know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Thank you for understanding. I'm not alone. But Finn, you get another Finn story, guys. Okay, here you go. Finn has shown me that this doesn't have to be all that difficult. To to be fair, Finn's really cute, so he's got that in his favor. We might have to jump that hurdle in another way, but it's okay. Finn really, like, he doesn't see a distance between him and strangers. To Finn, no one's a stranger, everyone's a friend. For real. Like, he tried to leave with some people last Sunday. Like, he's like, bye, Mom. I was like, don't get back over here. But Finn, like, you're in the Hot Shots line, and he, like, sees the distance between him and a person, and he's like, oh, I got to fix that. And he goes, hi, what's your name? And when a 2.5-year-old asks, what's your name? People respond, hi, I'm Jamie. And he goes, I'm Finnegan. And of course, no one can understand what he is saying, so I, as mom, go, yeah, you're Finnegan. And people go, oh, nice to meet you, Finnegan. And then Finn immediately turns to me every time, and he goes, Mom, that's my friend Jamie. I love it. For Finn, it is so simple. He sees a gap, he bridges it. It's as easy as that. You know what? I'm going to prove to you how easy this is. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to find someone that I don't really know. I know you. I know you. I don't know you. Hi, I'm Frankie.
Hi, I'm Garth.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Garth.
to meet you too.
I'm so glad that you came today.
Oh, thank you.
I was really nervous about talking, so having you here makes me feel a lot better. Are you here with anyone?
I'm with my wife and my son.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this is great. That's awesome. God loves it when we're with people, hey? So he's really liking what you're doing today. All right, I got to go back on stage. It was really good to meet you. We're going to chat some more sometime. Yeah, was that easy? Garth, did that feel easy? Yeah, right? Some of you are going, Frankie, that was just small talk. I don't like small talk. You know what? If you want to have deep talk, start somewhere. Start with small talk. You can make up your own little script if you want. You can you don't have to do fins, although I really enjoy fins. And if you're not creative like me, just use fins. If I can just put myself aside and not put so much value in my appearance, so much value in just being attached to that image of myself, I could bridge a whole lot more gaps. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what Jesus did. He was working on that for us to bridge that gap and be with us. But it doesn't just start at small talk. Like I said, eventually we get to deep talk. And that's the simple part was what me and Garth just did there. Just like loving our kids, the details make it difficult. And life is difficult. And I have to choose again and again, every month, every week, every hour, every 60 seconds, that I'm going to continue to bridge the gap even when it gets difficult. I don't want to be the person who, when all of a sudden the small talk starts turning into deep talk, and I was like, I'm with you in the small stuff, and the deep stuff, you know what? I'm here. I'm with you. If you want, you could come over here and be with me, but I'm just going to avoid that conversation. I'm not going to go over there. You're no longer being with people. You need to be with people where they are. It can look like when the people that you say that you're going to be with, their lives start to get stressful. You're like, I am with you in that stress. Hey, you know what? I'm going to watch your kids on Thursday so that you and your husband can go and have some alone time and really talk about the things that are going on. It's like there's a business that I admire so much who say, you know what, I want to be with these employees, and so I want to hear what's going on in their lives, and I'm writing their paychecks based on what I see their need being, not what I see their education status being. This being with people where they are, it takes a lot of bridge gapping. People who are becoming love repeat these actions so often, it becomes muscle memory. No longer do I have to hype myself up to convince myself I'm going there. It just becomes muscle memory. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it anymore. It becomes natural. When life gets hard, stay with them. And when you love, and when it gets hard, remember to love without an agenda. Because love doesn't have an agenda. It doesn't say, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to change your mind. I'm going to give you some instructions. No, you just got to be with them. That's it. I used to have a sign that was in my cubicle at work, and it just read, "Does everyone know?" ? Does everyone know? And I loved having conversations with people who would ask, like, does everyone know what? And I'd say, that I'm a follower of Jesus. Does everyone know? This came from John 13:35 that says, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples." By this everyone will know that you are my disciples. By what? Like, that's what I want to know. If you love one another. Like I said, Jesus just like, this was his mission, love the people. So I was constantly asking myself, does everyone know? If not, I got to keep loving more people. Now, as Christians, we can have a tendency to be like, I've done this. And you know, it burnt me out. I spent lots of time going there, being with. And the truth of the matter is that when we get burnt out by loving people, it's usually because we have put ourselves in the place of Savior. And that's not our job. That's Jesus' job. Our job is just to show people what Jesus looks like. That's it. When we start to get tired, we need to check ourselves. Are you making it your job to save people? If so, leave that to Jesus. Our job is just to love. Keep the superhero spandex under the shirt, is what I keep telling myself. I'm not the hero. That's Jesus' job. The mission, love the people. And just leave it at that. Sorry, guys, I lost my notes. Also, remember, you are the people. When we get on this mission, we get all focused. We're like, love the people, love the people, love the people. And we forget that we are the people. When people in this room looked around, they saw you. So that makes you the people. Let people love you. Let people come and be with you. You don't need to act like you have it all figured out. Christians are really good at this, and God really doesn't like it. I told you that Adam and I loved people through our home and through our lives. But guys, we sold the house. We resigned from the youth ministry. Well, none of that is wrong. We had become burnt out by it all. And we took a break from the mission. I don't have this whole thing figured out either, guys. Loving each other is what we are meant to do. It's not where we start when we begin following Jesus. It's a beautiful path that we travel the rest of our lives. We kind of forgot this. So this message is for me too. People who are becoming love keep it real about who they are right now, while living in constant anticipation about who God is helping them to become. That leads me on to the second thing that I really think that Jesus demonstrated for us, is that he demonstrated what it's like to believe in who the people are becoming. Loving the people can be hard some days. Some days I just want to pull my hair out, loving my kid. And some times I just want to pull my hair out, loving the people. It can get pretty hard. And when I lose vision of this demonstration of Jesus is when I go really off track. I'm supposed to love the people for who they are becoming. Jesus did this over and over and over again. Pretty much every story of Jesus is him doing this, really. Like the time he met a tax collector named Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a tax collector, and in that time, that job associated him with words like traitor and thief amongst his people. It says in the story about him that when Jesus came to talk to Zacchaeus, that the people around him grumbled and said, he's gone to be a guest at the man of a sinner. it is fair to say that people pulled their hair out about Zacchaeus. They were really confused at why Jesus was associating with him. They didn't have high confidence in who that man was. Right off the hop, I just need to tell you, you're going to go out and love people, and it's going to confuse the people around you. Loving people is a story of constantly being misunderstood. I remember I drove back to work after a weekend of hanging out with some teenagers, and my car was covered in those window markers, that you can put on windows, and all over the windows of my car were all these words and markings and pictures of dragons, I think. And I drove into work the next day, still hadn't washed my car, and someone comes in and goes, "Frankie, your car's a mess." And I'm like, I know. And they're like, "Man, teenagers, they have no respect these days." And I went, "Jason, I handed them the marker. I bought the markers for them and said, 'Here, draw on my car.'" And he looked at me like, "Why?" Loving people is going to be a story of constantly being misunderstood because it confuses people. It doesn't make sense to them. They're going to ask questions like, "Why are you talking to him?" They're going to say things like, "Why are you letting this person sleep on your sofa? Why are you buying a stranger a pregnancy test?" Keep doing that. You're going in the right direction if people are confused by what you're doing. What confused people is that Jesus wasn't treating Zacchaeus how they would treat Zacchaeus. Instead, Jesus was seeing something else in Zacchaeus that they couldn't see. He saw Zacchaeus as being hospitable. He saw Zacchaeus as being honest. He saw Zacchaeus as being generous. That makes all the difference when someone believes in you, doesn't it? When someone sees something deep inside of you that maybe you don't even see yourself, and they see that in you, and they say, you are these things. You are not the things that people are saying about you. You're not the things that you are saying about yourself. I see something more. I see who you are becoming. You guys, Jesus does this for us all the time. This is the difference that Jesus makes for me, because I quit the youth ministry. I sold the house. I haven't been doing this very well. And yet Jesus is still going, "Frankie, you're hospitable. Frankie, you are loving. Frankie, you are engaging." I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he reminds me of those things, and I go, "Okay, I can do that, right? I can be those things." There's a mom in this church who does this really well. I love this lady. She does this for me, and she does this for our kids here. Finn's story for you. A few Sundays ago, Finn was in the nursery. You guys in the nursery, you guys are awesome. Thank you for loving me and taking care of my child for an hour at a time. Finn was in there, and he punched his friend in the guts, completely unprovoked. When I picked up Finn, I heard this, and I was like, "Oh, no. I have that kid. That kid. Oh, my goodness." And to top it all off, this mom was in the nursery that day, and it was her kid who Finn punched. I was like, I'm so embarrassed. And so I went up to her, and I apologized for one. And then, because she's my friend, I asked, "What did you do?" And I was hoping that she pulled my kid aside and put him in his place. You don't be that kid, right? But she didn't. She does what she always does, and she loves my son like Jesus loves. And I've watched her do this time and time again. She said that she pulled him aside, and she knelt down, and she said, "Finn, was that mean or kind?" And Finn said, "I don't know." And she said, "That was mean. Finn, you are not mean. You are kind. You are loving. You are a good friend." Whew. What you did was mean, but that's not you. Oh, I need some of that. Is anyone with me? Wow. I was blown away because she didn't even treat my son how I would treat my son. She was loving like Jesus loves. And she does that for me all the time. You guys don't even know it, but right now you are doing this for me. You right now are loving me for who I am becoming. You guys have let me come on this stage and said, Frankie, I'm going to listen to you because we believe you have something to say. And I'm like, me? Okay, I'll try. You guys let me come here on Mother's Day. Whew, that's a big responsibility. That's not just any day. Like, the seats kind of fill up on Mother's Day, which means you must really see something in me. Thanks. You're encouraging me to become this amazing person more than I imagined. C.S. Lewis has this quote that he has, and it says, "The Christian does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because he loves us." I need to keep reminding myself of that because this can be hard, this loving people for who they are becoming, because sometimes it feels like they've punched us in the guts. Sometimes it can feel like I have no idea what people see in you. I don't know what I can see that you are becoming. And it can become really hard. You guys, I have to keep reminding myself that grace never seems fair until I need some. And I need to keep extending that to the people. Did you know that the average temper tantrum lasts 30 seconds to a minute? First of all, I read that, and I was like, no, it doesn't. I don't know where you got your doctorate, master's, blah, 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 but you're wrong. But it does. Apparently, the average temper tantrum lasts 30 seconds to a minute. There are some that extend longer, but when we average them out, 30 seconds. When my kid is losing it on the bathroom floor, I have to keep reminding myself, I'm going to 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. I am going to do my best to love you for 30 seconds at a time. I go the 30 seconds, the kid's still losing it. I go, just another 30 seconds. I can do 30 seconds. You can do 30 seconds, 30 more seconds. I've just hit a minute. The majority of the time, that'd probably be enough. Probably not this morning, though, because it wasn't. 30 seconds. I can do that. If you have people in your life that you're like, I cannot see who you're becoming, find one thing. Maybe one thing that you hope that you're becoming, and begin to speak that into them and begin to show them that you believe that they can become that person. A business in town does this really cool thing, and they say, we want our employees to be generous. We believe our employees have the ability to be generous people. Me, in myself, would be like, yeah, go take the money that I gave you and go give it away. That's generosity. But these employers didn't do that. They said, we believe that our employees can be generous people. We are going to add an extra $10 to their paycheck. It's going to have an extra line on their pay stub that says, love. They give each one of their employees an extra $10 a paycheck that is unearned, and they say, go and give it away. They already believe that their employees can be generous people. They didn't say, I know we have a few generous employees, and so we're going to give those guys some extra money to give. Every person, from the minimum wage to the full salary, $10. Wow. Right. Love people for who they are becoming. And love them into that. Some of you are in a place and you're saying, you know what? I need to be loved. Maybe the difficult person that you need to start loving is yourself. Jesus told us to love our neighbors as ourselves. Maybe you need to start loving yourself, accepting, encouraging, and seeing the potential in you so that you can start becoming that amazing person that God sees you as. Remind yourself. Love yourself for who you are becoming. You are becoming kind. You're becoming loving. You're becoming gentle, honest, hospitable, understanding. You are accepting. You are faithful. When we do this really well, when we do this loving the people really well, the people around us, the people right in front of us, they will feel like they just met Jesus. Wouldn't that be so cool? It says in 1 John 4, verse 8, God is love. I didn't get this love the people from, it wasn't my own idea, it was in the Bible. God is love. As simple as that. So where we bring love, we bring Jesus. What if people meet you and me and they feel like they just met everyone in heaven? Wouldn't that be us loving the people well? That was the mission of Christ. That's what he told us to do. He demonstrated it. He said it over and over again. Love one another. Love the people. This command I give you, love one another. Over and over again. And then he did it. All the stories of his life are a demonstration of him doing this. It was simple and clear. Jesus closed the distance to be with us. And he loved people into becoming the truer, more awesome people they were designed to be. Now it's our job to follow. Do you accept the proposal? Some of us are made to be doctors, others contractors, moms, teachers, and a host of other things you may have been meant to be. But we all carry one thing that we're all meant to do, and that is to simply love. It'll be the simplest and most difficult thing you'll be ever called to do. But let's keep it simple. Just go. Love the people. Who? The people right in front of you. And give it away like you're made of it. I'm just going to close in prayer. Because, guys, you got some work to do. Go love some people. Start today with your mom. That one's really easy. The day is called Mother's Day. You don't even have to think that one through very hard. Go love mom. Got it? God, I just thank you so much for this group of people. They have loved me so well. They saw me as a person who had a word to speak, and they said, Frankie, come do that. And I am so thankful, God, that you put these people in my life because they are doing things for me that I didn't even know I was capable of. God, you bridged a distance to be with me. Thank you so much. I accept that offer. I accept that love. And God, show me how I can go and carry on that proposal to the rest of your people. There isn't a person that you see who is unworthy, God. You see all of us and go, that's my kid. I love him. God, I forget that sometimes, and I'm sorry. God, I pray for the people in this room. I pray that as we go into our weeks and into our lives and into our everydays, God, and as they become difficult and the details start to weigh us down, God, can you remind us, right? It's as simple as love. Just find a good way to bridge the distance and love people into who they are becoming. I want to do more of that. I am so sorry that I have fallen short and that I decided to take a break from the mission. I misunderstood. I misunderstood that I was supposed to be doing this for a lifetime, not my baby steps of following Jesus. I keep looking for those big, high spiritual moments, God, and you just keep telling me, love the people. I'm going to try to do more of that. Bless the moms here today, God. They have been practicing this message from the day their kids were born. And God, I pray that you keep giving them the strength to keep practicing it 30 seconds at a time. I pray these things in your holy name. Amen. Amen. Thanks, guys. Have a great Mother's Day. Give her a big hug from me. And when she says, who's that? You're like, I don't know. She said her name was Frankie. And if you're not careful, she's just going to come and shake your hand. Have a good time.